Hello and welcome. Today's guest for our show is a woman entrepreneur. She says that she is highly motivated from her parents and she says that her sole inspiration is her mother. She has a venture around art and artists. The name of her venture is Outside the Pitara. To know more about her venture and herself, let's welcome the persona herself, Sonia Chawla.
Hello, Sonia ma'am. Welcome to our show. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi
And
Sudeep, thank you for having me here.
yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been long. I'm trying to connect with you, and thank you so
Yes,
much for
it's been a very difficult couple of months,
yeah,
but that's great. We finally connected.
yeah. Thank you so much, like for giving me time actually for this show.
Not at all.
So yeah, like you have a great startup of your own, a great
Mhm.
venture you have started. Like it's kind of unique. I haven't seen anything yet like this. Like platform. Like if there is any platform out there, I don't know, but I have seen yours.
Mhm.
OTP. OTP is like something very like general name everybody has.
Yeah,
Like every day they come up with a OTP. So it's
right.
not basically one-time password. It's outside the Pitara the
That's right.
name. So, okay, like, can you tell us what OTP basically is?
Sure. So OTP outside the Pitara, we have three verticals at outside the Pitara. Firstly, that it's a community. The community is basically a community of visual artists. We wanted to create a space for artists to connect with each other, start a dialogue, start some networking, and obviously help artists in whatever way possible to maybe like something as simple as dealing with their artist blocks, help them find an inspiration. We have a support system basically for all of our community artists. Secondly, it is a platform. It's a two-way platform. Firstly, a platform for artists to showcase their talent. So every time, that is available on outsidethepitara.com. So there are certain products that are available, on the platform, and the artists are basically showcasing their talent via the products that we make, right?
Okay.
So whenever someone is making a purchase, whenever there is someone making a purchase on our website, they are basically supporting an artist directly in a monetary way,
Okay.
right? That is one way, and the other way is of course for consumers, for buyers, for our audience, the platform wherein they can kind of find a way to connect with art. And this is again made possible via the products that we have. It's a conversation starter. It is a very different kind of a quality, and of course, since the name itself is outside the Pitara, so
Yes.
there are certain elements that kind of make it stand out. Like there are certain
Okay.
products that have an outside the box element
Yeah.
to them when we design our products.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. And thirdly, it is a mission. It's a mission wherein we want to connect 999 artists on our platform. That's the
Okay.
first mission we are starting with. It's called Mission 9. So yes, that's what OTP is.
Okay. So 999 like in a year or like in total you are trying to connect with?
To start with, so all of our missions are going to be connected with the number nine. The
Okay.
reason behind that is nine is believed to be the number of Brahma,
Okay.
Brahma, the creator
Yes.
of the universe.
Okay.
So we obviously consider all our artists as creators. So that's why
Okay.
we kind of, figured that nine is kind of the best number to
Okay.
start with. So 999 artists, not in total, but that is something that is where we want to start. That is what
Yes.
our beginning is.
Okay.
And of course, every other mission that we will be coming up with, all of those will be connected with the number nine. And this is again not specific to India, like 999 artists in India. This is across the globe.
Okay, that's great. So, along with this, I got to know something new. Like the number nine is a number of Brahma.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this thing came from your side, or like somebody of like your team has this idea, or like you yourself read some spiritual books or something like that.
um this OTP started from me. I
Okay,
was I mean uh, the first person, the first human of OTP is
Okay.
me, and then of course, then the team kept on growing from there on.
Hmm.
But I don't read a lot of spiritual books. I think there was just something that I came across at some point.
Okay.
I do believe. I mean, I do have. I do read some things about some things when it comes
Yes.
to Indian mythology.
Okay.
It is definitely a subject of interest for me. And that's how I kind of, that's how the whole number came up. I mean, there is
Okay.
no, like, if you were to ask me that, what is that exact point that I came up with, I won't be able to answer that, but it has definitely a lot to do with the fact that there is a certain interest in Indian mythology.
Yeah, that's great. Like in Indian mythology is interesting. Like
It is.
to be very honest, it's interesting. Like it's thrilling. Like the
Mhm.
movies around this Indian mythology is always thrilling. Like they are like something,
So
eye catching.
I love listening to stories. I love reading stories, and
Okay.
I think that's like a great space for me to kind of there are a lot of magical stories and
Yes.
everything
True.
happening in all sorts of different mythologies, not
True.
just Indian. But yeah, I mean that's where it came up from.
Feels like you are a quite a wide reader of Amish, right?
Um, it's not really. I mean, it's been a while now because thing like it's been really busy, so
Yeah.
I don't really end up getting a lot of time to read. But I would definitely like to get back to that.
Okay, that's great. So, what made you come up with this idea of like creating a community of artists where you can just, connect with all the people around? So,
Uh-huh.
what came up to your mind to start this?
So, I like since the beginning of my career, I have been working with artists, with visual
Okay,
artists for as long as I can remember. So even when I've always had an exposure to graphic designers, and then there were UI UX designers, and then there were like just artists in general. I've just always been exposed to that field. That was a part of my professional career. Over a period of time, I of course developed fascination towards artists. I mean, that is I know for a fact that I cannot create art, but I wanted to find some way to kind of be a part of the art that is there around me.
okay,
So that's where it kind of started building up in my head. And then last year, of course, the pandemic happened, and things were really bad. Everyone was spending more and more time on Instagram, on online channels, because that was the only thing you could do at home. You had to
yes,
make do with what was available for you. So that's where I kind of started. I also started spending a lot of time on Instagram. A lot of people that I knew were they had taken to art to kind of express themselves, to kind of everyone was researching and exploring a lot of different ways. There were
yes,
like there is this mood cycle, there is just like a lot of therapeutic ways to kind of deal with art. So that's
yes,
where it started. And of course, someone like in my family kind of at some point in life needed art therapy, but at that point in time it wasn't really available, so that also had something to do with it.
I
So
see.
that's where I started getting into like the it started from one product, it started from one idea, and then it kept growing and growing and growing. And then it was like, oh, why not a community? Oh, why not a platform? Oh, why not
Yes,
this? Oh, why not that? So there were a lot of ideas that were coming to me. And then I just, of course, there was like a lot of support from the family as well to kind of, help build that as a whole and soul idea. So we kind of put things together. We figured that okay, this works, this doesn't work, this could be something that people would be interested in. And that's how the entire process of OTP started. And that's where I mean, outside the Pitara, the name also for that matter was more to do with the fact that I wanted to do something that was a little unique, it was a little outside the
yes.
box, and I wanted to keep the Indian roots alive. So that's
Outside of
where
Pitara.
Pitara came into the picture.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So that's how, I mean, I wanted to make sure that when the brand goes global, there is a certain representation of
Okay.
India as well in the
There should
brand
be
name.
the Indian touch in
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm a very cultural person that way, and I love I love this kind of stuff. So
Okay.
that's where this idea came into being.
Yeah. Okay. So your logo seems very interesting, right? It's something like
Yeah.
Illuminati. So what does this signifies?
Okay, so this logo is designed by one of our community artists itself. His name is Siddesh Kulkarni. So my brief to him was very simple. My brief to him, this is entirely him. He basically, I gave him an idea that this is what I want to kind of convey, and he did a wonderful job with it. That's exactly why I'm like I cannot create that art, but once it was conveyed, the artist did the job so well that I'm really happy with the logo, especially.
Okay.
So we had there are three parts to the logo. So there is the first one is of course to do with the color. The color is a really pop color. There is a certain playfulness to it, and the kind of font and the language and everything that we've used has a certain maturity to it as well.
Yes.
And of course, because we are an artist platform, we are an artist community, we've kept the art alive in the logo. So um, there are three parts to it. First part is that it has a camera lens to it, which kind of so there is like the rounded square is basically a camera, and like it's basically like a lens sort of a
Yes.
thing that has been created out of it.
Yes.
The second part is that's of course to depict the art, like
Okay.
photography as an art as well. So that has been something that's been used. The second part is the eye that you see. The pupil in the eye is OTP. Like if you like
Okay. Yes.
really
Yes.
really notice
I
it,
have. I have.
so it has OTP in the logo itself,
Yes.
and that's of course the initials of the brand. The eye has been used to kind of like the all-seeing eye sort of an element to it, and then we have the handle on top, which is basically a bioscope handle.
Okay.
A bioscope is something that used to be found in fairs, like a lot of wo mela hota tha na. So
Good. Good.
there it used to be found, and it was like this playful thing that kids really enjoyed with, and there were a lot of stories that a bioscope was telling, right? We still
Yes.
have it in a lot of places,
Yes.
but it's not very put to use
Yes.
anymore. But yes, so there were a lot of stories that were being told. So that's why the bioscope, and of course the bioscope because of the Indian element to it. So that's how the logo kind of came into being. And Siddesh has done like a brilliant job when it comes
Okay.
to designing the entire logo. I just told him, listen, I want colors. I want an artistic element to it. I want the eye concept to it, and rest everything just kind of he like figured everything else
Okay.
out and he got it in place.
Okay. That's great. Like the logo seems very simple, but it has a deep inside like terms
Oh,
and
it
everything.
has too many
Like
stories
too
to
many
tell.
stories, right?
Yeah.
So like when I like showed this logo to my friends, they were like, "Is this something kind of Illuminati kind of community you are like exposing me to?" I was like, "No, no, no. They have a artistic community." So yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
the thing. So yeah, the logo is really great. You have a
Thank you.
great connect with the colors and all. So yeah, now I was going to ask you along with the logo, like when you mentioned that OTP, right, outside the box. So in place of box, you have named it Pitara to give
Pitara.
it a
Yeah.
Indian touch.
Yeah.
So how did you came up? Like what the journey was to start? Like as you said, like you have started it alone, like from home. So how did you build up the community? Like not community, your team to start it with. So how did you start with and whom you have connected first? Like say hello, my friend. I have an idea, like very decent
Uh-huh.
idea. So I want to work. So how your journey started?
So it was all about making that first call to the artist. Like first, it was of course like, okay, where do I find those artists? How do I
Okay.
find those artists? Who qualifies for being an artist as a part of the community? There were a lot of questions, of course, when you know just start things off. So it was about listing all of those questions down, finding an answer to each of those questions. To start with, the first conversation that I had with was with my mother. So
Okay.
I told my mom, then listen, this is something that I want to do. And she was more than supportive about the whole thing. So in my team, my mom herself, she is an inspiration for me because she herself has led an entire manufacturing unit, a production plant, and everything. So for me, like that is somewhere that I get my inspiration from as well.
True.
So my first conversation was with her after like all the support that she helped me out with. Then I kind of started exploring, talking to artists that I already knew. you have to kind of start somewhere, right? So we had the first artist that I spoke to was Avantika. And once I spoke to her, I told her that this is the idea, this is what I want to do, and she was more than happy to be a part of it. And she, of course, connected me with another couple of artists, and then the circle just kind of keeps on increasing.
Yes.
Especially one thing that has really helped is the Instagram algorithm. So
Yeah.
when I
Okay.
started looking up more artists, that's what started showing up on my feed as well. And of course, there were a
Yes.
lot of other ways. There was Behance. There were just a lot of ways to kind of get connected
Yes.
with more and more artists.
Artists.
Yes, so we did that and started that off. The first I had people who were looking after. So I did not obviously get a social media team or anything on board. It was I hired we had a content writer, we had someone who was taking care of the Instagram account overall, because of course Instagram requires that kind of energy as well.
Yes.
So we had like a team that was growing as and when. Later on got a lawyer as well, because we had to build certain MOUs.
Yes.
The accounts team, and then the web developing, and then the designer, and then
Yes.
just after when one department in the company kept on increasing, that's when one team member also kept on increasing.
Increasing.
So yeah, so we have about we're still a small team, because a lot of our artists are that's the larger community that our focus is on at the end of the day.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's what the journey has been like so far.
Yeah, okay. So you mentioned that like there has to be certain
Yeah.
criterias to fulfill. Like as an artist, you need to
Yeah.
fulfill certain criterias
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
called as an artist, right? So
Hmm.
what do you think? Like in your sense, like what do you think? Like what are those criterias you need to fulfill?
So there are two criterias that we have. One is about a criteria of becoming a part of the OTP community,
Okay.
and the second criteria is to become a part of the artist studio. Now, how are they different? OTP community is for recognition. It's for where we promote your art, and you become a part of the dialogue that is created within
Okay.
the community. That is what the OTP community is. Artist studio is basically a space wherein artists can sell their stuff as well,
Okay.
right? So all they have to do in the artist studio bit is that they have to provide us with digital files of their artwork, and we basically it goes through a screening process. I cannot really discuss what the screening process is, because
Yes.
that has to be confidential.
Yes.
But yes, those art pieces go through a screening process, and we have people who are a part of a panel to kind of go through that, who conduct that screening process. And once the art has been approved, then it is put up on online, for sale. And of course, there are a whole bunch of documentation that we have to follow. We have the agreement. We have like just a lot of stuff that kind of goes in the making before a product is made available on the store in the
Okay.
store.
Okay.
That's one. In the OTP community, you need to have an experience. Like you need to be a visual artist first of all.
Mhm.
That is step one. Step two is that you need to have some kind of experience with creating art. Like there has to be, if you're just even if it's a hobby or something, that's completely fine, but there has to be some kind of an experience with art. There has to be, again, that also kind of goes through the panel as well, whether they are whether they are identified as a
Okay.
part of the community or not.
Okay.
Usually it's like a two-way thing. Sometimes artists are approaching us, sometimes we are approaching artists. So we
Okay.
have to figure out that what, I mean, whether they have an experience, whether they are professionals, whether they are doing it as a hobby, whether they're just starting off, or they are a budding artist, or they have, they are looking at a career line in art. So there are a lot of questions that need to be answered first at our end, and that's when, we take a call whether that artist can be added to the community or not.
Okay. So I can say that like not everyone who is into
Yeah.
art can join your community because you have certain criteria.
Everyone who's into art can of course join the community, but there are a lot of um, there are a lot of times that we have to kind of say no to certain artists, because there is, I mean, they wouldn't, I don't know the right way to kind of put it across, but yes, there has to be a certain screening process
Okay.
of people that are added to the community.
Okay. So yeah, like what was your ultimate plan? Like where you like you said that you were about to do this artistic therapy kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then how did you venture in? Like how did you think of like going into interior designing and this kind of stuff?
So it's not really interior designing because we have products that like
Okay.
for example one of our products is wall decor, which kind of does play a role in interior designing, but it's not interior designing per se.
Okay.
But yes, so we do have those kind of products as well. The ultimate plan for the brand is to go global, to create a space for there is the worldwide shipping bit. We want to create an app out of it. We want more and more people to, of course, be aware of the art that is there, that's created by these artists. So we
Okay.
want to increase the awareness of art via products that are your regular lifestyle products, like something as simple as a diary, or something what would be the right thing that I say, something as simple as a box,
Yeah.
right? So people need to like like a container or a packaging stuff or something on those lines. So basically uh, connect people with art, because when you look around your house you will find art to everything,
Yeah.
right? It could be simply your bed sheet, it is the
Yeah.
shirt that you're wearing, it
Yes.
is the wallpaper on your screen. So
Yes. Yes.
everywhere you
Everything.
look there is art at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
that is the awareness that we want to increase.
Okay.
We of course want to create an app for artists as well as as well as an audience to kind of
Yes.
maintain certain things, and for people to explore more and more products. We of
Yes.
course, that is the next step, that we
Okay.
create an app or a software out of it.
Okay.
But yes, connect with as many artists as possible, make as many collaborations as possible, and have a global outreach is what the
Okay.
ultimate plan is.
Okay. So, like, how your platform is helping this artist out, right? Like, just simply selling their products, like giving them
Hmm.
appreciation. Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't kind of, like, I can, like, there are people who can't just like feel like, okay, like, there are already
Hmm.
platforms like in Instagram, they have like, you can come up with your art and you can sell
Right.
commission art and kind of thing. So how
Right.
your platform particularly helps this artist, like apart from giving appreciation that you give
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just selling their product, like how you guys are helping them out.
Okay. So there are three ways. There are three support systems that we provide to our artists.
Okay.
First one is inspirational support. Inspirational support is in its name itself. We basically solve all the, we want to play a role when it comes to artist blocks to kind of help artists. Uh, you know that like artist block is like a real thing, so when you
Okay.
hit that, it kind of really gets you stuck in a certain place. So we
Okay.
want to help artists to kind of make sure that they are not, that if they come at that point, how is it that we are helping them out.
Okay.
Apart from that, of course, the fact that we want to help them out with any kind of inspiration. That could be via recommendations of books or music or places, anything on those lines, even people for that matter,
Okay.
right? Other artists who are into the same field, about talk about their the struggles that they went through, and how their struggles can of course help another artist.
Artist.
And that is what the inspirational support is.
Okay.
Second support system that we provide is the promotional support. In very simple terms, it is where we promote their art, and we basically create, we have blogs and everything that kind of go out, wherein we promote artists as well. That this is the kind of work that they do, and like open up a space for them.
Okay.
That is the second support system, and the third support system is to do with monetary support, which is the
Okay.
most important
Mhm.
support that we
True.
want to provide for artists, right? So apart from the products that are made available for artists on outsidethepitara.com, apart from those products, we also have a lot of uh, uh, like corporate projects and everything that we take up, wherein we kind of find the right artist for the right job, and we connect the two and basically execute that job, and that's how an artist ends up making money as well
Yes.
from that kind of thing. So it could be something as simple as a branding project, wherein there's like logo design and packaging and that kind of stuff that's
True.
involved. It could be something as wall paintings,
Yes.
that people are looking at painting their walls, or certain areas of their home or office, or anywhere on the road or something on those lines.
Yes.
That is of course another one, and then there is of course original artwork sourcing,
Okay.
wherein we have our connects with architects and interior designers and builders and everyone, wherein we basically maintain an inventory of original artworks, and then those according to what the client's needs are, we provide them with those artworks,
Okay.
wherein again directly the artist is making money out of it. So we
Okay.
build a portfolio for them, we build that this is the kind of work that they provide, an
Okay.
entire care is there is an entire treatment that is explained to the clients as well, that this is how the art needs to be treated. So it's a very personalized and a customized experience
Mhm.
when it comes for the client, and of
Yes.
course that way an artist is making money out of it, and
Okay.
that is what we want to do. We want to
Okay.
create as many monetary opportunities for artists as we can.
Okay. So it seems like simple, but there are many things to do. Like
Of course.
yeah, yeah. You guys are doing many things like between the
Yeah.
lines. Like just
Yeah.
like apart from selling the art and promoting, you guys are doing. And one thing you mentioned, like artist block, like you meant creative blockage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like being an artist, like you need the OTP platform needs a visual artist, like
Mhm.
something like art form in an art form, right? Not every artist.
See, I wouldn't put
Yeah, yeah,
musicians or
musicians.
dancers
Yeah.
as part of the community, because that is not what we are specializing in.
Okay.
However, we do have our doors open for fashion designers,
Okay.
interior designers as
Okay.
well,
Okay.
jewelry designers, footwear
Mhm.
designers. So those are again fields that we are open to,
Okay.
but performance arts not so much.
Okay. Okay. So like how your product stand outs
Mhm.
apart from like there are platforms, Amazon, like
Yeah,
great artists are coming up with their artists, like arts
yeah,
and all, right? So
yeah.
how your platforms, like your platform
Mhm.
comes up with a product that stand out, you know?
Hmm. Okay, so I'll give you an example of one of the products that we
Okay.
have right now. The first, it's a canvas diary,
Okay.
right? Now the diary that is there, there are multiple features that are available for this. First off, one is that the cover itself, it's an inkjet canvas cover,
Okay.
which we print on from Epson technology, like printers that are from Epson technology. Now these covers, they are of super smooth finish. They have a very clothish kind of a feel to them. They are
Yes.
very rich when it comes to it. They have a very high definition of printing.
Yes.
Like if you print on it, the details are very defined. That of course has a lot to do with the technology that we are using as well.
Yes.
That is one. Secondly, the pages on the inside, they are 140 GSM papers.
Okay.
So those are the reason that we've chosen thick papers is because they are blot free. So
Okay.
basically, when you write on them, at that point, it doesn't leave a blot on the other side of the page, which kind of
Okay.
really helps when someone is writing with a sketch pen, or someone is doodling, or someone is an artist. So it's a product that is open to all
Well,
genres of people.
yes.
The third customization that's available is that you can decide what kind of pages you want inside. So there are five types of pages that you can choose. You can go from blank pages. You have the ruled lines. You have the graph style of the graph, the
Mhm.
the checkered
Yes.
one.
Yes.
You have the dot
Okay.
style, and then there is something new that we've introduced, which is called the bullet style.
Okay.
So
Bullet
those
style.
are basically you I for one, I make a lot of to-do lists for myself,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
those are basically a to-do list kind of pages,
Okay.
wherein
Okay.
you have checks
Mhm.
and then you have lines next
Yeah.
to it, so that you can mark off any of your tasks
Mhm.
that you are attending to.
Yes.
That is what that's what we are doing.
Okay.
Apart from that, There are customizations available wherein people can choose the color of the cover as well for certain designs.
Yeah.
कि आपको अगर if you want it in, let's say, blue, or you want it in red, those are of course pre-decided colors, but you
Yes.
have options in those as well. And the last personalization that's available is that for certain artworks, you can also decide what do you want to write, on that particular artwork. So if it is like a scenic sort of a Polaroid kind of a picture, what do you want written, like a motivational quote or something like that that you would like to write on the product.
Okay.
So we require about so it has to be up to 15 characters, and we basically get that designed at our end, and we create the diary then. Like that's how we kind of go about it. So when we look at this one particular product, there's a lot of thought that has gone behind it. There's a lot of we've tried to accommodate a lot of things, a lot of genres that are available. We've added a lot of options for people so that they can make a product as per their need, as per their requirement.
Okay.
And it is priced at a very, like a lucrative pricing. It's just for 299. So
Okay.
that's
So
it.
yeah.
So it's extremely lucrative for people to kind of experience that product, experience the art that an artist has
True.
created. So whenever like someone is also purchasing an art, they are also going through, they can also view what who the artist is who has designed this particular
Yes.
product. So it of course becomes a conversation starter right there. That this is the kind of art. Every product that you have, there is a story to tell to it.
Yes.
So that is what that is what the product is, and this is how it stands out.
Okay. So the product stands out in a manner that you guys put a lot of efforts.
Yeah,
Like
a
we
lot of
were,
thought to it more
yeah,
than
yeah, more,
anything else.
a
Yeah,
lot of thought to it. Like
yeah,
when I listened to, like when I heard the pricing 299, like I
yeah.
was not expecting that price. Like
Hmm.
299, I was just expecting, okay, there is a lot of thoughts and imagination into it.
Hmm.
There's a lots of lot of hard work into it, and
Yeah.
you have like planned it in a manner that the paper thickness should be this and that. So I just imagine the price should be okay, ठीक है, 500 से तो ऊपर ही होगा. Like it was like something like that. So like
Right.
when a Indian goes for purchasing a artwork, so the main thing, the basic thing comes into the mind is the pricing thing. If it's an artwork, it's an
Hmm.
artwork, then the
Hmm.
main thing that comes into the mind is price. So
Right.
what do you think about that? Like, if someone who is listening to this, like if he wants to buy something, like can he go to OTP and buy it for a very decent price? You can say, like as you said,
Yeah, of
299 is
course.
very decent price, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what the idea is. We don't want to keep products that are extremely expensive. We want it to be something that the masses can go with as well. Because
Yes.
a lot of times it so happens is that when we think of artistic products, the automatically the thought process, the
The
notion then
brain
is
goes,
that it's
yes.
going to be very expensive.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go for an artistic product, it could be anywhere 800 to 1200 to 1000 or whatever,
Yes.
on those lines. So we kind of course want to convey to people that this is available for you, this is easily accessible for you. So it's to make art accessible to people,
Yes.
and there are all sorts of people that are there, out there, and we want it to be a part of that category. We want
Okay.
our products to reach out to more and more people. I mean, that's only when our entire mission of increasing the awareness of art will kind
Fulfill.
of fall in place
Yeah.
then.
That's true.
So
So,
yes.
like, apart from just selling your products, like artistic
Mhm.
products and all, you are into some service thing, right? So, like,
Yes.
what kind of services your platform provides to people?
So, one of those services are that we provide with interior styling services. So, you can basically you tell us that this is the space you want to get styled. It could be an office, it could be a room, it could be your entire home. It could be anything which is basically an indoor or an outdoor space for that matter.
Okay.
You tell us that this is the space you want to style. We source the right things for it. We understand what the requirement is. We source the right thing for it, and we get it executed. So we have a stylist on board who kind of looks after all of these requirements. So Aarti is our stylist, and she basically looks after this requirement,
Yeah.
wherein there is someone who wants to design their room from scratch, and they're like that this is what I want, this is the kind of feel I want to give it. And we execute that. We execute what they are thinking. We of course pitch them that okay, this is how it will be, this is the kind of stuff that we're looking at, these are the colors we want to accommodate, these are the tones we want to go with, and this is the kind of furniture we want to go with. So once all of those approvals and everything they come in, that is how the entire styling is taken care of.
Okay.
The other part is of course the original artwork sourcing, which I mentioned earlier, wherein we understand what kind of an artwork, an XYZ person is looking for.
Yes.
So they tell us that, they want this for their room. They want it to be mandala. They want it to be handmade. They want it to be illustrated digitally. They want it to be printed. They want it to be framed. They want, stretched out canvas. What kind of requirement they have, whether they want to create a collage wall out of it or a statement wall out of it. So we understand all of those questions and we provide them with those kind of artworks. Those
Okay.
could be again originally made for them, or they can go with something that is already available in the store. That's again up to the it's up to the client at the end of
Yes.
the day. And lastly, like I said, we also provide certain branding services wherein we get brands on board and we look after their entire, like we look at it as a branding project. We understand
Okay.
what their requirements are, what kind of the designs that they're looking out for, what kind of a business that they have. And of course, we have a database of artists, so we show them that this is the kind of work that we have. So which artist would they like to work with, which design they like.
Okay.
We understand their requirement and then we connect the right artist for the job. We assign the right artist for the job,
Okay.
and then that's how we execute it. So, I mean,
Okay.
this is, how we go about with providing the services.
Services. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, like people can come out with like like ideas like mandala. I want mandala,
Yeah.
then illustrators. So
Yeah.
if you have noticed it or seen
Hmm.
this thing, like post pandemic, like everything is opening up now, and
Yeah.
again closing, to be very honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like post pandemic, I would say like there, like during pandemic, many people came up with mandala,
Yeah.
doing mandala and then illustrating and then
Hmm.
designing, whatever you can say, like drawing and then doing customized, making sketches. So
Hmm.
like if they are listening to this, like can they approach to you, like be a part of your community?
Of course, they will again have to go through that entire screening process. They
Okay.
just need to share their, artist profile or, their artworks and all to us. And then, we kind of go ahead with our entire screening process. And
Okay.
that's when, if they fit what we are looking for or if they fit the community, then of course we get them added to the community.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so like talking about art and arts of like
Mhm.
our culture, like what do you think the future of art and artists in our country specifically?
Um,
Like I can
Things
see
are,
In Rajasthan, like
yeah.
there were art and artists, like, but I can like I don't know, I haven't been there, but
Hmm.
what I can see or read,
Hmm.
through the lines, or you can see
Hmm.
through the videos, I have seen that like
Hmm.
arts are not that much,
Hmm.
selling out and this kind of things. So what do you think about that?
So I think a lot of things about this, in fact.
Okay.
So firstly, there was very less recognition earlier when it came to the modern styles of arts that have come into the picture. Now fortunately things are kind of improving. People are looking at art in a certain way, and they are, like, for example, there is the bigger companies are, of course, they are going for
Yes.
an artistic approach to things, sometimes to do with the wellness of people, sometimes to do with their gifting purposes, and also people are looking at
Yes.
that now. What I feel right now is dying is the local artisans, like the tribal arts. That is
Yes.
something that is kind of fading away a little.
Yeah.
But then again, something that's good is that there are a lot of people who are trying to increase an awareness, for the folk art of India. So that is again something that's pretty brilliant. Like there is Madhubani has picked up a lot in the past couple of months. Not couple of months, I think in this entire year, Madhubani is something that has really been coming up. And then of course there are a lot of other forms of art, like you have Patachitra, you have Tanjore, you have all of these different kinds of arts. So that is again something that people are now starting to talk about, that this is vanishing. We need to bring that back in, and we need to appreciate the community that is, that went through that entire, I mean, the entire community that has been creating that form of art.
Okay.
So it comes from a really long lineage of people, of generations,
Yes.
who have been creating this art. So that is something that I definitely would want to talk about. When we talk about the future, right now, the talk of the town is NFTs. That
Yes.
is something that is, kind of an interesting topic that people are really talking about.
Yes.
But apart from that, with everything going digital, and the increase in the awareness of the kind of arts that are available, things are kind of looking up now,
Yes.
because again, pandemic did have one good thing to it, that people moved, without even knowing, people moved to art
Art
therapy,
therapy.
which
Yeah.
is a very important aspect for when it comes to mental health,
Yes.
like a well-being of your mental health. That plays a very important role. And that is something that is picking up now. Like, people were doing
Yes.
it, but they didn't
Yes.
know that it is called art
Art
therapy. So
therapy.
that is, again, that awareness has started to really go up. So I
Yes.
think the future is looking good. It is something that people, more and more people, are starting to indulge in. Your Even the most regular people now look for, like, like, especially with Instagram and all these digital platforms, the need to always please your eyes has, kind of has started playing a role in people's lives.
True.
So that way, art has an advantage when
Mhm.
it comes to it. And people
Yes.
are talking a lot about, there are a lot of wall installations, not
Mm.
sorry, wall, but art installations that
Art
people
installation.
are
Yes.
now exploring when it comes to weddings, when it comes to certain
True.
events. So that is again a very booming space.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm. Yes.
restaurants are going more and more in with what
Mm.
is the more modern effect, that
Yeah.
modern touch that they can bring
Yes.
to their
Interiors.
restaurant. Yes, so those are the kind of things that art has a chance of now.
Okay.
And I mean, that's what the future is looking like to me. Like, it's looking good. It seems like it's going to be a very booming space
Okay.
for art and artists.
Okay. So you have mentioned like about these things like this kind of arts like designs like in this like in between this you mentioned that there are tribal arts and artisans, right? There are
Yeah,
folk art, tribal arts. So
yeah,
like few arts are already endangered, like what I have
yeah,
like mentioned earlier,
yeah,
like they are
yeah.
endangered. Like how can like how you are planning to help them out? Like I can see like they are like they
Mm,
have vanished almost, like their family have shifted from their
mm,
like long ago hierarchy of
yeah,
like drawing and all painting,
yeah.
and they shifted, like they have sent this to like child, okay जाओ बेटा
Mm,
web development सीखो, अभी art में कुछ नहीं रखा
mm.
है. So, like how you can how you guys are planning to help them out, like say that like art can help you out also now.
So, we in fact are talking to one of these foundations that is that's basically been formed to help out, um, Indian artisans.
Yeah.
So we have a conversation going on with them,
Okay.
wherein we want to put up, products that they make. We want to, source those products and put up on our website for sale. So that
Okay.
is something,
That's
that is a
great.
step that we want to take, because I have seen those products myself, and those look beautiful. Like,
They are great.
they have hand painted masks.
Mhm.
They have really, like, बोलते हैं वो हाथ की कारीगरी से बनी हुई, they have saris
Yes.
that they have made, saris and shawls and all of those things. They have rugs, like, they have furniture. There is carving, carved items to it. So there's a lot of stuff that these guys are doing. The only problem is they don't have the right kind of space to uh, like put their art out. Like they don't have that kind of platform. So that is what we want to create for local artisans as well, that this is a space wherein you can list your products and you can sell your products, and they basically don't have to go through the entire matlab, they don't have to go through any struggles to put up their product online for selling. Like it's a like someone who doesn't have that experience, it's very tedious and it's very annoying to kind of go through that process, to be honest. So we have kind of decided that we will take all of those all of those efforts for them, and find in whatever way possible help them out, and start putting out their products on for sale as well on our platform. There is another thing that we do, which is called Out to Play. It is a fourth vertical that we have. Out to Play is an event centric concept wherein we bring food, art, and music, these three main things, we put them together, and we basically have events. So we had our first event in the month of October, last week of October, and it was a huge hit. So it's basically, the idea is to give artists an even bigger platform to kind of put their art out for sale, right? So via this initiative, via Out to Play as an initiative, we wanted to kind of give these local artisans a space to put up their products as well. So when you ask me that what is the future of art and everything looking like now, there are a lot of pop-up shops that are happening. So that is exposure for artists are selling their stuff right there, and they're getting all of that recognition, they are getting a way to be reached out to people. So that is a good space for them. The same thing we want to create for local artisans as well, that along with all of these other products that we have at OTP, we will be putting up stuff that's made by the folk tribes of India, and that this is the kind of stuff, this is handmade. So people love that kind of stuff as well. Like when there is a story to tell, like I said, I am someone who loves listening to stories, and their work has so many stories to them. Like the person itself who has been creating, who has been hand painting the stuff, or the block designs or anything on those uh, anything in that area, they are just doing there's just so much to tell about that, and that is exactly what we want people to be more aware of. And that is an initiative, that is something that we will be doing when the next event happens for Out to Play. Their stuff is also going to be available over there, so that people can view that, okay, this is the kind of stuff that the artisans of India make. So that is how we intend on reviving in a little way, in whatever way possible from our end, reviving the folk arts of India.
Okay. The last time I connected with you in the October, in the month of October, I guess your event was going on, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So, like, is this the first event your
yes.
organization organized?
Yes, so I personally have an experience with events
Okay.
in my line of career.
Okay.
I have been executing a lot of events. This was the first event that was executed for Outside the Pitara.
Okay.
So it was kind of it was a pop-up shop. It was there was it was like a 3 days event.
Yeah.
So we had like we said, there was a special food menu that was organized for this event. There was a special like all 3 nights had musical nights to it and all. And yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. So yeah, great. So like as like this thing is like concerned, like we are talking,
Mhm.
right? So people might think that okay, like why you came up with this, helping artists and artistic stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could have gone to a different field. So
Mm-hmm.
like coming to yourself, like you,
Yeah.
like how you have started it off, like about your academics and all things. Like, why
uh,
do you think that helping people, helping this artist will, kind of, your thing? You need to
um
help them.
It's not really I need to help them.
Yeah.
It's more about finding my way into the fascinating thought processes that they
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
I mean, it's just about that. I mean, artists are doing great themselves as well. It is not
Yes.
like, I mean, we are supporting them. We are not, I wouldn't call it helping them
Helping.
per
Yes.
se.
Okay.
This is our way of supporting the artists, if I just like, word it right. But yes, I mean, I have been working with artists for a very long time. I have a qualification, like I have a degree in hospitality studies,
Okay.
and I did not, it did not go into a hotel.
Yeah.
Like I did not end up joining a hotel really.
Mhm.
That was not somewhere that I wanted to kind of
Go
that
into.
wasn't the direction I wanted to head in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's how I kind of decided that my line one after the other, it was leading me there.
Yes.
Like I was working in a digital marketing firm. I
Okay.
have worked in like a CRM company. I
Okay.
have worked with like I've had my another startup wherein we've executed a lot of events. So a lot of those things kind of came together when OTP was formed.
Okay.
So I have basically whatever experience that I have, that I've gathered over the years, they are being utilized in some way or the other today in OTP. So whether it is to do with digital marketing, whether it's to do with account management for that matter as well, when it comes to designing, all of those things have now
Okay.
been events. Everything has now been accommodated, in OTP. So I
Okay.
think that's just how it has panned out for me.
Okay, so yeah, sounds great. So I mentioned you about a rapid fire session, right? So
Oh yeah.
okay, so
Okay.
coming to that, so I will put up some words in front of you. You need
Uh-huh.
to tell me what comes to your mind the first thing that clicks into
Okay.
your mind. So there
Okay.
will be some 10 to 12 words, 10 to 15
Okay.
you can say. So yeah, just
Okay.
tell me what comes to your mind the first. We talk like we are actually gathering this kind of thing to know people better because how people thinks in the first place
Okay.
kind of depicts them. I
Okay.
don't know, a psychologist told me that, so I'm just trying.
No, I know it's a very, so I am really into this wherein I like reading people and all of
Okay,
that. So that is something that I'm into. So I know this game, like why this is being played.
so
So
yeah,
yeah,
seems
okay.
like you will be very diplomatic as you know
I
this.
don't know about that. I don't
Okay.
know what to expect.
Okay, so yeah, coming to the session, yeah, the first word is art.
Artist,
Okay, the second is if I say therapy.
therapeutic. I mean, it's just like really relaxing. So therapeutic.
Okay,
It's yeah.
okay, so the next word if I go to is mental peace.
Meditation.
Okay, the next word is money.
Oh, it's a need today.
Okay, next is startup.
Uh, challenging.
Okay, next is emotions.
Mm, emotions. Expression.
Okay, next connection.
Dialogue. You need to start a dialogue for a connection. So
Okay,
dialogue.
okay. Next is social life.
Sorry.
Social life.
Okay. Um, social life. It's your it's an outlet to just like take a break.
Okay. Okay. Then, if I say party, events, not party, events.
Events. Uh, events. What is that word? An organized chaos.
Okay, an organized chaos.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is food.
Wholesome. Needs to be wholesome.
Okay. Next is joy.
Joy. Family.
Okay. So moving to the end of the session, this is the third last question. The third last word actually. The word is human.
Hmm?
Human.
Um, human. That's like super generic. Okay. Um, oh God, I'm just gonna go with population right now because it's just like really up
Okay.
there.
Okay. So yeah. You will say population. You are coming up with something
No, I'm
else.
just going to go with population. I don't think I can connect with humans with something right now.
Okay. So the second last is the I was saying family. If I say family.
Pillar of support.
Okay. The last word is if I say Sonia Chawla.
Oh, a multifaceted person.
Okay, that's great talking to you. That's great. So like yeah, as the time is concerned, so it was nice
Yeah.
talking to you. Like
Likewise.
yeah, moving to the end of the session, I would ask like what's the vision of OTP is looking forward? Like as you said, like the current vision
Hmm.
or mission you have is to connect 999
Yeah.
triple
Yeah.
nine, you know,
Yeah.
artists. So
Yes.
what's else?
So we have something in the pipeline. I don't
Okay,
know if, okay, I'll just say it out loud. I'm, of course, um, I want there to be, I want to start off with, physical locations for the brand.
okay. Okay.
So that is the next step that I'm looking at taking.
Okay. So as I am like sitting 1,000 kilometer away from like
Yeah.
how in what time or like in how many years I can just expect you over here in our state.
Um, uh, I hope it doesn't take too long. I hope maybe a few years, and I think we can be there for sure.
Yeah, that will be great. That will be
Fingers
great.
crossed. So you can just come down over here to Mumbai, Pune, somewhere over
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and you can just like go for it.
yeah. True. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us time. So we are like signing off. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
giving.
Sudeep.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us time. Yeah, we'll talk to you later, like on another interesting stuff with
Absolutely.
this art and artistic community. And apart from them, there are many topics to talk, right? So yeah,
Done.
it is great to have you on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.